blind-ish, I guess. Blind facial recognition wasn't my forte. I'd have to wait until I could see my reflection somewhere. I spun around to look at my surroundings and gasped in wonder. A beautiful, tree-covered island surrounded by a sparkling ocean as far as the eye could see. The island didn't seem too big, but it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. The brightest greens and the most vivid blues, as if someone had cranked up the saturation. Most of my life I had lived in the city. And when I say city, I mean slums. Towering gray buildings lined with dirty windows, overcrowded streets full of people and garbage. The most foliage I ever saw were weeds that sprouted up through cracks in the asphalt. I thought places like this only existed on a Microsoft desktop background. Sure, VR existed, but couldn't compare to this. Well, it might, but being prohibitively expensive, I wouldn't know. Suffice to say, it amazed me, and I was hesitantly excited. The warm sand under my feet stretched wide out in front of me. From where I stood, I couldn't see a single person. I couldn't hear anyone, and there weren't even any footprints in the sand. Where the heck were all the people? I hadn't expected to be completely alone. I craned my neck, searching for anyone else, and noticed a floating cube of glowing blue energy behind me next to a palm tree. I knew this had to be something to interact with, having played plenty of games in my time. I ignored it, not sure what would happen once I started down the path of interaction with this world. This island was feeling pretty perfect, but I wanted to stay pissed off about having my head cracked open and my gooey me-ness sucked out. I was of a mind to protest. "I won't do what you want me to," I shouted to nobody and kicked the palm tree by the floating cube. The pain bursting from my toes for being stupid enough to kick a palm tree barefoot impressed me as much as it sucked. The programmers did a great job on that bit. But when the coconut fell, cracking me on the head and knocking me over, I knew they were just jerks. "You have suffered 1 bludgeoning damage." Yep, jerks. "Ah, screw you!" I shouted at nothing, again. Now I really refused to touch that stupid cube. I sat up, and a floating red bar in the top right of my field of view appeared, like a HUD, reading 99 out of 100. I waited a few seconds as the numbers ticked over to 100 out of 100. Well, I guess that clinched it. They did gamify life. Why did they make it hurt so much, though? I walked around the island, pondering my situation and how I was going to stick it to the man. I would show them. I would stay here for as long as possible to screw up their data sets they were sure to be collecting. The sun was warm, the ocean peaceful. The soft sand would be a nice place to sleep. My stomach growled. Wait, my stomach growled? "I'm hungry? Why do I have to eat? This is a fake world." Anger seeped off me. First, I'm forced here against my will, as good as murdered. Then I stub my toe and get conked by a coconut. A coconut! Hot damn, I'm not beaten yet, fools! I would still protest. On some level, I'm sure I was being ridiculous, but I'd already gotten this far, so why not? I grabbed the coconut and looked over the strange fruit, vegetable. In this impressive virtual world, the coconut looked like, well, a coconut, a hard, hairy rock. How was I going to eat this thing? I remembered watching some video about how the extinct natives of the sunken islands of Hawaii opened coconuts with a sharpened stick, which I was fresh out of. Time to work out my anger. I grasped the coconut in 2 hands, found the closest embedded boulder, and, gritting my teeth, slammed the hairy rock on the not hairy rock with a loud crack. My hands hurt, and the coconut received only a small dent. "Congratulations, you have increased your strength attribute. Congratulations, you have increased your conscious attribute. Congratulations, you have learned the toughness skill. You have suffered 1 bludgeoning damage." Seriously? I took damage for hurting my hands trying to open that stupid thing? What the